In today's training, guys, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 main differences between how broke-minded people think and act and how wealthy-minded people think and act. And here's the crazy part, y'all. I believe that number 5 is going to absolutely shock you, okay? If you're taking notes today, you can open up the Bible to Romans chapter 12, starting at verse 2. Now, I'm going to be reading out of the New Living Translation, but guys, everything, when it comes to what I'm about to show you on basically how to be a millionaire, that's what today's session is going to be about. How to think like a wealthy person, how to act like a wealthy person, and how to think and act like a millionaire, okay? So, but here's the thing, everything that has to do with that is rooted in this scripture found in Romans chapter 12, verse 2. I'm going to be reading out of NLT. It says it like this: let God transform you. In fact, come with me here to the board and let's check this out, okay? Oops, got the blue on, here we go. Romans 12, verse 2, NLT says this: let God transform you. I need somebody in the comments right now to drop these words: transform you. Let God transform you into a new person. How? Oops. By changing the way you think. What? Okay. Now, other versions say it a little bit differently. Some versions say be transformed by the renewal of your mind, right? But I like how the NLT says it, guys, because think about this. Let God transform you into a new person by changing the way that you think. So here's the thing. If you want to see a revolution in your business, in your finances, if you want to grow in your business, in your finances, if you're tired of being stuck where you're at, you're like, man, I'm here and I really desire to be there. The only thing that needs to happen in the beginning is you need to allow God to transform you into a new person in that subject by changing the way you think. Guys, we have got to get our mindsets right when it comes to money. Why are most of God's people broke? Because in my opinion, the reason why most of God's people are broke and the reason why most of God's people stay broke is because so many of God's people have these false and limiting beliefs, these conflicting internal beliefs around the subject of money, around the subject of prospering, around the subject of abundance. Right? So like out of one side of their mouth, they're saying things like, you know, money's wicked and money's evil. And like, if you have a lot of money, you're greedy and hey, beware, because the love of money is the root of all evil, right? They're saying that out of one side of their mouth, and out of the other side of their mouth, they're also saying, hey, thank God, everybody. Thanks for coming on Sunday. Would you please, we're going to pass the bucket here. Make sure to be generous. Give your tithes and your offerings, not just your tithes. We need your offerings too, because we want to build buildings and we want to rescue orphans and we want to help people. It's like, which one is it, right? Like, why do we have these conflicting internal beliefs around money, around being a millionaire, right? Like being wealthy. Why do we think so double-mindedly? And that's what the book of James tells us, is that the reason why so many of God's people are unstable when it comes to their finances is because they are double-minded, right? That means that they have two minds, right? Two minds. They think with one side of their mind, they're thinking like money's evil, money's wicked, being rich, being wealthy is bad, the love of money is the root of all evil, blah, 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 right? And then out of the other side of their mind, their double-mindedness is going like, well, we need offerings and we'd love to prosper. And I wish I could just not have to work so hard and give my family the life that they deserve. But, you know, it's like, which one, man? The reason why you're unstable is because you're double-minded. And what Paul is telling us in the book of Romans here is that you have to let God transform you into a new person by first changing the way that you think. Okay, I need at least 10 people in the comments right now. Say it like this: change the way you think. If you want to see change in your life in any area, it must start with changing the way that you think about that area, okay? And why are our thoughts so important? I'm glad you asked. Come with me to the board. I want to break this down for you, okay? Watch this, okay? When you sow a thought, you'll reap an action, okay? When you sow an action, you will reap, oops, am I saying this right? Yeah. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, you will reap a habit. If you sow a habit, you will reap a character, and if you sow a character, sow a character, you will reap a destiny. What is happening right now? What is happening? Why is your thought process around the subject of money so incredibly important? Like, stop being so religious about like, oh, I don't care that much about money. Really? Are you sure about that? You ever seen that meme, right? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because here's the thing, okay? Those religious Christians who are like, oh, I don't care that much about money, like whatever. They're the same people who go to a job 40 to 50 hours every single week, okay? 52 weeks a year for 40 or 50 years just to make a little bit of money, right? Money's not that important to me. Like, who cares about money? Well, then why are you going and spending your whole entire life trying to go get some money if it's not that important? Stop being so religious. Stop being so double-minded when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to abundance, when it comes to prosperity. You have first got to start thinking correctly around this subject if you really want to be blessed, if you really want to live in God's favor the way that I believe that He desires for His people to live. Now, of course, before I go any further, let me just say that there are some exceptions, right? Like, God might call you to be Ezekiel, to where He's like, yo, I want you to run around the streets naked and like cook your food on dung. Like, that could happen. Like, it could happen, right? Like, who knows? But for the majority of us, okay, the majority of us, it's not the exception, it's the rule that God says, I call you blessed in the city, blessed in the field, blessed when you come, blessed when you go, right? Like, God wants His children to be blessed, because I believe that whenever God's people have money, we expand the kingdom of heaven. And when the devil's people have money, guess what kingdom they're expanding, whether they know it or not? They're expanding the enemy's kingdom. So like, if you were the devil, would you rather have God's people have money or your people have money? And the answer is you'd rather have your people have money. So guess what? Here's the thing. The enemy can't block your blessing from you, but the enemy can block your thoughts to where you are blocked from your blessings. From when you are blocked from what God really says about your potential in Him when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your business, okay? So why are our thoughts so important? Because if you sow a thought, you'll reap an action. If you sow an action, you'll reap a habit. If you sow a habit, you'll reap a character. And if you sow a character, you will reap a destiny. If you're taking notes, write this down today, okay? Every thought is a seed that grows into the garden of your reality. Every thought is a seed that grows into the garden of your reality. Hey, I really hope that you're enjoying the video. I want to invite you guys. I have recently created a free training teaching people how to make money online. My students are literally making anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and some of them even make hundreds of thousands of dollars, not in a year, but in a single day. If you want more information on how you can get started, all you need is a phone and a laptop. You can go to digitalproductacademy.org, or you can click the link below in the description. Guys, after you watch the free training, if it sounds like it might be something cool for you to check out, you can book a free call with one of my client success coaches, and they'll be able to help you more. Now, back to the video. Think about that. Every single thing that you have in life right now, okay, I'm talking just strictly about possessions, about finances right now, okay? Everything that you do or don't have began as a thought. I want you to consider something for a second, okay? Everything about your future, you made it up. Think about that, okay? So my students, I'm showing them how to create powerfully, explosively awesome, like high profit digital products, okay? And for those people who are like, who would want to buy a digital product from me? No one's probably going to buy a digital product from me. You made that up, right? And then the other people who are like, I'm going to crush this thing. People are going to buy my courses. They're going to buy my programs. I'm going to create generational wealth through my digital products. They made that up. And I have news for you today, okay? It doesn't cost you any more to be an optimist than it does for you to be a pessimist. But you've really got to get your mindset and your thoughts right, because guys, every thought is a seed that grows into the garden of your reality, okay? So here's something that I want to submit to you today. If you don't allow yourself to have the desire to become a millionaire, chances are you won't become one. Think about that. Like, how did my wife and I become multimillionaires? How did we get to the point where we've done tens of millions of dollars in online sales just in the past few years? Well, because we started allowing ourselves to break out of this religious limiting belief mindset that, oh, money is bad, but we do need a little bit of money for the church fund. We do want to rescue orphans. Oh, but money's so bad. Money's wicked. Like, we broke out of that mindset and started saying, we desire to be millionaires. And then our thought process and our confession began to change. We don't just want to be millionaires. We want to be multimillionaires, right? We don't just want to be multimillionaires. We want to be decamillionaires. And guys, I'm at the place now where I'm saying, I want to be 100 millionaire, and then I want to be a billionaire. And because why not? Like, we're not chasing the money, guys. We're chasing the potential, right? We're chasing the God-given potential that He has put on the inside of each and every one of us. But the punchline is, until you allow yourself to have the desire to even be a millionaire, chances are you won't become one. It all starts in the desire. It all starts in the thought process. And until you allow God to transform you into a new person by changing the way you think about finances, about money, about being a millionaire, right? Then chances are it's probably not going to happen. Okay, so consider that. Okay, many people think, if you're taking notes, write this down. Many people think that they need, I'll say it differently. Many of God's people think that they need a financial breakthrough. Like, think about this, okay? A lot of you guys and gals know I was a worship leader, am a worship leader, have been a worship leader for over 25 years, and a missionary. I've been to 79 nations all over the world with missions, with worship. I mean, it's been incredible. So Paul the Apostle said, I pray in tongues more than you all. I say, I've been to church more than y'all. Okay, like if anyone ever been to a church service, your boy right here, Uncle Ricky P, been to some church services, okay? All over the world in all kinds of different contexts. Here's the craziest part about it. When you go into the church service, okay, and they're calling for prayer, guess what the number one prayer request is in almost every single church service around the world? We need financial breakthrough, right? And by the way, I'm not trying to knock that, but I want to submit something to you, okay? Many people think that they need a financial breakthrough, but I submit to you, what you really need is a mindset breakthrough. What? I need at least 10 people in the comments. Drop these words. Mindset breakthrough. Okay? You need a breakthrough in your mindset, man. How do we know this? Because Paul told us in Romans, that's where it all begins, right? Like, how in the world are you going to reap the destiny of I am a millionaire or multimillionaire if you don't first start with sowing the thoughts of I would really like to be a millionaire? And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I could probably help and serve more people around the world if I were to be a millionaire instead of me just being broke, working my 9 to 5, making, peanuts every single year by trading a whole bunch of my time for a little bit of somebody else's dollar. Okay? Are y'all tracking with me? If you're tracking, drop it in the comments. Say, I'm tracking. Okay? So many of God's people think they need a financial breakthrough, but really what they need a mindset breakthrough. Okay? If you're taking notes, write this down. You can't expect to have a millionaire bank account until you first develop a millionaire mindset. How are you going to have a millionaire bank account if you don't have a millionaire mindset? Guys, I'm telling you this right now. Before you actually be a millionaire, you have to first see yourself as a millionaire. Okay, so why am I always telling my students, put the most expensive gas, buy name brand stuff, okay? Buy the most expensive eggs. Stop having these broke conversations around gas is so expensive and blah, 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 and eggs are so expensive. Oh my gosh, it costs that much to change my brakes. This is a ripoff. Stop having these conversations. Stop entertaining this broke-minded way to approach your life. Instead, you should start seeing yourself as a millionaire before you can actually be a millionaire. And that begins with expanding your mindset. Look, I've had people say, like, Rick, it's silly. Why would I pay an extra 47 cents a gallon for premium gas when I could just save the money? Like, I'm like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but is an extra $20 on a tank of gas really that much bigger than your God-given potential? Is it really about like, well, it takes, I drive a big van and it costs $70 to fill it up. So if I put premium gas, it's going to cost me $100. Who cares? Like, is $100 bigger than your God-given potential? Like, guys, we gotta get our mindset right about wealth, about prosperity. I will tell you guys this right now. Like, I am not in any way saying this to boast. I'm just telling you, my wife and I, we fly first class, okay? We stay in suites. We drive nice cars. We buy the best of everything. Not because it's like, oh, well, they're wealthy. Like, Rick's already rich. Like, he can do that. Punchline is this. Before we ever started generating millions of dollars in our businesses, we were buying first class tickets, we were staying in suites, we were trying our best to buy the best, most premium everything. Why? Because if you're taking notes, write this down. You must see yourself as a premium person before anyone else sees you as a premium person. How are you going to expect your clients? How are you going to expect people to do business with you at a high level when you don't even treat yourself at a high level? When you're always trying to get the most, cheapest one and the most, what's the cheapest option? What's the worst thing? I know so many people, they will save, $43 on a flight. It'll get them 2 days later there, right? It'll get them to their destination 2 days later. They got to sleep on the floor. They have to be in the back of the bus just to save an extra $43 and fly this airline instead of flying a more premium airline. Give me a break, man. Like, give me a break. Like, are you kidding me? Like, is $53 that much bigger than your God-given potential? We got to get our mindset right, man. Start treating yourself like a premium person. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments right now. Drop these words. I am a premium person. You got to start calling yourself as God calls you. Like, how many of you mothers and fathers watching right now, do you look at your kids and be like, nah, they're not premium. They're just they're the cheapest one. Right? I don't want them to have the best. I just want them to actually have the worst because it's more cheap. And they're being more, quote unquote, wise. You're being more wise if you buy the cheap brand. Give me a break. I want my kids to have the best. How much greater is our Father in heaven? When we ask for an egg, does he give us a stone? No. When we ask for bread, does he give us a snake? No. Right? How much better is our Father in heaven calling us, his sons and daughters, premium people? Mindset, guys. Mindset. Someone drop the words mindset in the comments, okay? You've got to become wealthy in your mind before you actually become wealthy in your bank account. Okay, so all this to be said, I want to give you guys the 5 differences between the way that broke-minded people think and the way that wealthy-minded people think, okay? And like I said a little bit earlier, I believe that number 5 is probably going to shock some of you. So come with me here to the board, okay? We're going to call this broke mindset. Broke mindset versus wealthy mindset. There we go. Okay. How many of you guys are ready? If you're ready, drop it in the comments. Say, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Okay. Broke-minded people have a scarcity mindset. Okay. But wealthy-minded people have have an abundant mindset. What does this mean, okay? This is a rhetorical question, okay? I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I want you to ask yourself internally, do I view life through the lens of scarcity, or do I view life through the lens of abundance? What does that mean? Scarcity is always, I don't have enough, everything's so expensive, I am absolutely not going to do that because what if I don't have enough for tomorrow, right? Like scarcity mindset is always playing on the defense, right? Like, oh, we better just, well, I don't want to do that because what if something goes wrong? What if I lose my job? And what if we don't have enough? If that's the dispensation that you view life through, right? Then you could potentially be on the broke mindset side where everything is scarcity, okay? But let me ask you the same question on the other side. The abundant mindset. Do you view life through the lens of there's more than enough for everyone to have more than enough, and after everyone has more than enough, there's still going to be more than enough left over? Guys, I'm telling you this right now. Money doesn't multiply with you hoarding it. You got to circulate it. An abundant mindset says, I'm going to circulate this money, and even though my false, limited belief that, oh man, we're running out of money, even though that's trying to fight against me, I am going to break that mindset off by saying, you know what? My God-given potential is bigger than any bill. It's bigger than any problem. And in fact, I am going to live in abundance. I'm going to give generously. I'm going to live generously. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to do the premium brands as best as I can because I am a premium person. And no matter what we spend, no matter what we circulate into the economy right now, God has given me the ability through my creativity to make more easily. Okay? If you're taking notes, write this down. Okay? Money comes easily, money comes frequently, and money comes abundantly. I'm going to say it one more time. Money comes easily, money comes frequently, and money comes abundantly. In fact, how about 10 people in the comments right now drop that affirmation. Money comes easily, money comes frequently, and money comes abundantly. You've got to approach your life with this kind of mindset unless you want to just stay in the cycle of the broke mindset mountain that so many of God's people keep going round and round and round and round. Think about that, man. It's so interesting to me that the Israelites, it was only an 11-day journey from slavery to the promised land. Only 11-day journey. But why in the world did they go around the same mountain for 40 years? Because the punchline is this. It's God's job to bring us out of Egypt, but it's our job to bring Egypt out of us. What does that mean? God delivered them out of the slavery, okay? But then it's up to us to deliver ourselves out of the slavery mentality. Why could the Israelites not go into the promised land? Because they were still thinking like slaves. They were still thinking, man, I don't want to have to figure out how to build a business. I don't want to have to figure out like slaying giants. I don't want to have to do all this hard work. Like take us back to the leeks and to the onions and take us back to slavery, God. Like we didn't know we had to actually do work. We didn't know we actually had to put in some reps. Take me back, God. Like guys, stop thinking like a slave. Stop thinking like a broke person where everything is scarce and everything's on the defense. Get on the offense, man. Get on the offense and know and believe that there's more than enough for everyone to have more than enough. And after everyone has more than enough, there's more than enough left over for everyone to have more than enough, okay? What's the second thing here, okay? So this is the first thing. What's the second difference, okay? Second difference between broke-minded people, wealthy-minded people. Second difference is this. Broke-minded people work hard for money. I'm going to step on some toes with this one, okay? But wealthy-minded people have money, work hard for them. One of the reasons why so many of God's people stay broke for so long throughout their entire lives is because virtually every single thing that you've ever been taught about money is a lie. Like, can I help y'all? Like, would that be okay? Like, think about this. Like, you know, an honest day's work for an honest day's labor for an honest day dollar. It's like, what? Time is money. No, it's not. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. And guys, I'm telling you this, if you're trading your time and effort for dollars, then this lower level thinking, this scarcity thinking, this broke-minded thinking could appear to be true to you, that like, well, you got to work hard if you want to make more money. But the reality is that God is saying it's not about working hard alone. There's merit to working hard. But how many of y'all know that hard work alone will not make you rich? You can't just work hard. You must learn how to work smart. How do you work smart? You disconnect your earning potential from your time and your effort, and you connect your earning potential to your God-given creativity. When your earning potential is connected to something limited like time and effort, then your earning potential is limited. When you connect your earning potential to something unlimited like creativity, then your earning potential now becomes unlimited. That's why Warren Buffett said it like this: if you don't learn how to make money when you sleep, then you will have to work until you die. I don't know about y'all, but that doesn't sound like John 10:10 to me, right? Jesus said, I will come. John 10:10 said, Jesus said, I have come to give you life and life more abundant. Abundant life for me is not working my tail off into my 80s and 90s, hoping that I can have barely enough just to get by the cheap kind of gas, the cheap kind of eggs, the cheap kind of this, save a little bit, and hopefully one day Jesus is going to come back and rescue us all. Come on, guys. We got to stop trying to work so hard for our money, okay? And we need to learn how to have money work hard for us. All of those religious Christians who are like, money's not important, they're the exact people who are working hard for money, okay? But then the wealthy believers, the wealthy Christians, where they're like, oh, they're just all about the money. They're not all about the money. They've just learned how to flip this mindset on its head. And now someone like me, I have my money working for me every single day. We've got investments. I've got businesses. I invest into my education, probably more than anyone that I know at this point, like hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year into my own coaches, into my own mentors. Like, why? Because I don't want to be a slave to money. Right? That's what the spirit of mammon is all about. The spirit of mammon is that you are a slave to money. And all these people are like, oh, if you're rich, then you're all about mammon. You're all about the money. No. If you're broke, then you're all about the money because you're the one working hard for money. You're the one going to that job for 40, 50, 60 years, spending your whole entire life, every ounce of strength you have, trying to make a little bit of money just so you can get by. When those of us who've changed our mindset around money, right? We're no longer chasing money. Money's chasing us. Uh-oh, right? We got to get our mindset right about this stuff, guys, okay? Number 3, okay, what's the difference between broke-minded people and wealthy-minded people? Number 3, oh gosh, this one. Broke-minded people think that everything is a scam. I know it's going to mess with some people. Wealthy-minded people think everything is an opportunity. Okay? So here's the thing. Whenever you have the broke-minded, scarcity, poverty mentality, you literally think everything's a scam, right? You're like, what? It's not free? That must be a scam. Like, all these people want is your money. They're trying to scam you, right? That's how broke people think, man. That's that broke mindset. That's that scarcity mindset, right? Wealthy people, we don't see everything as a scam. We see everything as an opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to live our lives being gullible, right? Just believing every single hoo-ha flippant thing that comes our way. No, we're going to use discernment, right? We're going to have prudence, but we don't see everything as a scam. We see everything as an opportunity, okay? Because the punchline is this: when you have a wealthy mindset, you understand something that people with broke mindsets don't understand. When you have a wealthy mindset, you understand this: the bigger the problem, the more I can get paid. Uh-oh. If you're taking notes, write that down. The bigger the problem, the more I can get paid. Okay? Guys, I'm telling you this right now. We have got to change our mindset when it comes to wealth, when it comes to abundance, because God is calling us to this. Okay? And if everywhere you look, you think they're trying to scam you, well, guess what? I have news for you. If you are grown and you are broke, congratulations, you've already been scammed. If you're grown and you're broke, I got here too late to scam you. You're grown and you're broke. You've already been scammed, right? Like, you've got to change your mindset, guys. You've got to start thinking differently, okay? Number four. Number four, this one's really good, okay? Broke-minded people look for all the hard ways to make a little bit of money okay? But wealthy-minded people, we look for all the easy ways to make a lot of money. Okay, what does that mean? When you are a broke-minded, scarcity-minded person whose time and effort are connected to their dollars, then think about it. When you hear about maybe some of my students who do 6 figures in a single day, multiple 6 figures in a single day, or maybe, you know, I've been able to do $1 million in one single day, right? Like, and people are like, oh, that can't be true. That's impossible. Well, if your only way to compute is I trade time for dollars, then the only way that you can try to fathom this idea that making a lot of money in a short amount of time is easier than making a little bit of money over the long period of time, the only way you can fathom that is through your current filter of I trade time for dollars. And so therefore you're like, in order to make 100,000, you have to work like a bajillion hours and you have to get paid like 30, 40, 50 bucks an hour. Yeah, whenever you're trying to understand it through your lens, of course it seems impossible. But how many of y'all know that there are levels to the game? I need at least 10 people in the comments. Drop it like this. There are levels to the game, baby. Levels to the game, right? You have to understand, why do we have to think bigger? Because when you begin to think bigger, you are no longer trying to figure out how to make money with your time and effort. You're now thinking, what are the creative ways that I could solve a big problem and I can make a bunch of money? Like, guys, I need to brag on my kids right now, okay? So my wife and I, in the past 7-8 years that we've been in our business journey, okay, it's been really interesting because, you know, 7-8 years ago, all my kids were just being born, they're small. So we started teaching our kids about financial literacy. If you walk up to one of my kids right now and you ask them, hey, how do you make money? All of them, even my 6-year-old is gonna go, you have to solve a problem. And then if I go, well, what if you wanna make more money? Then all of them, even my 6-year-old is gonna say, you have to solve a bigger problem, right? My kids, when they come up to me, they don't ask, Dad, can I please have $100? They come up to me and they go, Dad, do you have any problems that are worth me solving that are worth $100? Like, they're not even thinking on the level that most Americans are thinking on as far as poverty, lack, scarcity mindset goes, right? It's absolutely insane. You ask my daughter, right? She's been talking this talk since she was like 10. You ask my daughter, what's the fastest way to make 100,000? She'll say marketing, sales, and offer. You have to be really good at marketing, you have to know how to sell, and you have to have a killer, irresistible offer. And she's out there, she's making thousands of dollars right now as a 14-year-old, like applying these principles. Guys, we have got to change our mindset when it comes to money. Stop looking for all the hard ways to make a little bit of money, start looking for all the easy ways to make a lot of money, because I'm telling y'all this, it's easier to make a lot of money in a short amount of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time, okay? And then number 5, I'm gonna wrap with this one.
Hey, real quick, if you've made it this far into the video and you're liking it, do me a favor, share this video with somebody that you think might also receive some value. My biggest heart in this channel is to simply bring some awareness, financial literacy, and do it all from a biblical perspective. So go ahead and share the video, like and subscribe, do all that stuff too. Back to the video.
Number 5, what's the 5th difference, okay? I've been mentioning this throughout the whole entire training, okay? Broke mindseted people, broke mindseted? People with broke mindsets, they try to make money with their time and their effort. Wealthy people, we make money with our creativity. Friends, I'm telling you this, making that money is a lot easier than you think it is, okay? And the more you begin to disconnect your time from your dollar, and the more you begin to tap in to the God nature, that creativity that God has put on each and every one of us, the more you move away from, I have to give time and effort to make money, and the more you move towards, how creative can I be to make money? And my creativity can make money when I sleep. Like, think about it. Your time and your effort, when you're sleeping, you can't make money because you're sleeping. You can't put time, you can't put effort, but your creativity can keep working for you, right? Guys, I'm telling you this right now. God has incredible plans for each and every one of us as his sons and daughters, to be prosperous, to live in abundance, to be the head and not the tail, to be blessed and not cursed, to be blessed in the city, blessed in the field, blessed when we come, blessed when we go, to be the lenders and not the borrowers only, right? Like, God has these plans for us. They're plans to prosper us. They're plans for a hope and a future. But I'm telling you this right now, God's intention is already there. He's already bringing us out of Egypt. Now it's up to us to have Egypt brought out of us.